Here we go. Time for the late night boxing talks. So that rumor seems to be getting around about the PBC potentially migrating over to DAZN, which at this point would be the natural choice since all of their competitors are on that side of the street, the vast majority of them. And if you even want to call them competitors, since they're doing more and more business with these people, I don't even know that you could call them competitors. And the PBC's not much competition for them. They don't have anything to compete with Top Rank and Golden Boy and Matchroom and Queensbury. So it's not even competitors. It's more of a professional relationship at this point for them because they are doing a lot of business with these people now. So it would be better for them if they just went over there to DAZN. DAZN has pay-per-view functionality, so you can keep doing what you've been doing with the crowd-funded boxing. That if you want to keep putting Sebastian Fundora on pay-per-view, you can do that over there. They have pay-per-view functionality. Um, it would certainly make it easier to make certain fights if you were all on the same platform, and you might actually get some fight dates out of it, which you're not getting on Amazon. Get back to being able to do a regular schedule, maybe sign some new fighters, because when's the last time the PBC signed somebody new? A string of new fighters. What it do, El Cagón? What it do, Michael? What it do, Hawker, Danny? Country, what it do? Cervecero, que lo que, mi niño. I'm W2. We out here. So, yeah. I heard the rumor about 2 days ago, talked about it on Twitter in passing this morning, and it seems to be getting around. Apparently, Steve Kim, he heard about the rumor too. So, yeah, I mean, a part of the rumor is that Amazon isn't actually happy with the PBC, and why would they be? Since arriving on that platform, they haven't delivered a single big fight to Amazon. What's the biggest fight that they've done on Amazon since arriving there? What? Javante Davis versus Frank Martin, I think. I think that was on there. And Javante Davis versus Lamont Roach. None of which were big fights. Those were not big fights. They didn't do big numbers. Brim, what it do? So yo soy yo que lo que mi niño. And yeah, that would be ideal and beneficial for them to go to the zone. Why not? No, of course, that would be an acquiescence of defeat because they were the most vocal in trashing the zone as a platform when they debuted in this market. They were the most vocal about who's going to fight on an app, dead zone, all that goofy, silly shit that aged like a fucking avocado. They were among the most vocal about trashing the zone. So that if they were to end up there now, yeah, you lost. You lost the war. You couldn't beat them, so you had to join them. Pretty much. Kevin, what it do? Devon, what it do? Yeah, just Canelo fights, which I'm sure. No, not even because Canelo. The Canelo fights that they did were on Showtime, if you remember. If you're talking about the Plant fight and the Jermel Charlo fight and the Munguia fight, I think those were on Showtime, not Amazon. By the time they end up on Amazon, Canelo starts doing business with Turkey, I believe it was. So, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest fights that they did since arriving on that platform would have had to have been the two Javante Davis fights, which, we all know those fights weren't big. They didn't sell anything. And he himself was set to box off platform in his very next fight. He was going to go to fucking, what, Netflix. So, that settles that. Um, it would definitely be an acquiescence of defeat if they go to the zone. It absolutely would. But at this point, very little remains of the PBC of the Haymanites. You don't really see a lot of those guys anymore because, why would you? They don't have a schedule anymore. I mean, just generally, like, there's no reason to be a Haymanite in 2026. They barely do any shows. The only show they did this year was what? Fundora versus Thurman, I think it was. That was the only one they did this year. And You could argue that Benavidez versus Zerto is one of their shows, but it's a co-promotion. That doesn't really accent what I'm talking about. Your ability to stand on your own and do your own shows and put together your own schedule to keep your own fighters busy. You can see plain as day they don't have the ability to do that like they used to, you know? Oh, the irony if they end up there. I know, country, you know? Because they were among the most vocal about how DAZN is a piece of trash and it isn't going to last and all these different things. You must have been talking about yourselves. For the consumer, I suppose it would be a good thing that you could get more boxing from one place instead of having to have it all spread out and fragmented. Um, because they like doing pay-per-views so much, it would lend itself to the DAZN Ultimate tier, because that's the bottom line with the DAZN Ultimate tier is you get all these different pay-per-views if you just pay one flat fee. I still think it's too expensive. I personally think it's too expensive. Asking an individual in this economy right now to pay $400 for entertainment, yeah, I don't think the common man can really pull that one off. That's a lot. $400? That's a lot. And you say that, well, you're getting a lot of boxing if you do that, which is true. You know, you would be getting a lot. You'd be getting the PBC pay-per-views, the Turkey LL Sheik pay-per-views, the cross-promotional ones. But it still seems like a lot, man. $400 to just kick that out? Seems like a lot. DAZN is going to end up bumping up the price. That's usually the standard procedure for doing an acquisition. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But technically, they already did that, bro. They already bumped it up. You're asking people for over $400 so that they don't have to buy pay-per-views? Like, bruh, that's crazy, bro. That's actually a lot when you think about it. And if what the appeal is supposed to be is, oh, well, you're gonna start doing more pay-per-views. Yeah, that doesn't change that that's a lot of money. At this point, you're just trying to justify why somebody should pay that instead of it really being value for money. That's a lot. $400. But you can just use streams and spend those $400 on food and beverages consumed during the fights. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what most people are doing, you know? It's not a secret. See, the thing is, the pay-per-view model didn't actually stop working. There will always be fights that people buy. If you told people tomorrow that Javante Davis was going to fight Shakur Stevenson, they would buy that fight. They would buy that fight. If you told people tomorrow that Terrence Crawford is going to come out of retirement and fight the winner of Zayas versus Boots, they would buy that fight. Oh, yeah. If you told people that Canelo Alvarez was going to go up to light heavyweight and fight David Benavidez, they would buy that fight. So it's not that the model stopped working, it's that the model is overused for fighters that don't belong there. That's what it really is. There are always going to be fights that are super fights that you set them apart from your run of the mill good fight. There will always be an avenue for pay-per-view model. The disconnect is it's abused. They're using it for guys that, nah, nobody is going to pay to see that. Y'all really thought y'all was going to put Rolly and Devin on pay-per-view and somebody was going to buy that? Who the fuck was going to buy that? UFC has no pay-per-views. Why can't boxing? Because UFC doesn't produce stars like boxing is the main reason. That's the main difference. Um, there are no giants in the UFC round one. There are no giants. There are not guys on there that you look at them and say, you know what, you could put this behind a paywall and people would pay to see it. No, the most popular guy you have is who? Alex Pereira? Come on, a Brazilian guy who barely does he speak English? It's not. It's apples to oranges with that. The main thing is, it's not that pay-per-view stopped working. It's that they overworked it. Y'all got greedy thinking y'all gonna put every halfway decent fight on pay-per-view. That's never gonna work. Not Devin Haney, but like I said, if you told people that Canelo was gonna fight Benavidez, you're telling me that they're not gonna buy that fight? If you told people that Shakur Stevenson and Javante Davis are going to fight in the summer, you're telling me they're not going to buy that fight? Yeah, they are. There will always be a select few. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that, oh, well, I'm pay-per-view now, so all my fights are. No, it's not supposed to be like that. Least of all for a guy like Devin, you know? Least of all for a guy like Devin. The problem is they're putting too many fights on pay-per-view. That's the problem. Shout out to Virtuoso. Paying $400 just to knock down pay-per-view walls sounds like a silly trade-off. That's just as dumb as PBC being a pay-per-view exclusive. The boxing industry sucks. The fighters are too greedy. You know what I'm going to say, Virtuoso. If there's been this influx, it's because these guys want too much money. It's more than is available. It's more than the network is going to give them. It's usually more than they're good for. And that's the real nature of the problem. Nobody really wants to work for what they're actually worth, you know? And that's why this is one of the few channels where you'll see I'm not sweet on the fighters. I don't play the violin. I don't nah. No, I'm a customer first. And near as I could tell, a big part of the reason of why the cost of everything has gone up is because everybody thinks their box office. Everybody thinks their box office. And with the, which I often talk about, with inflation in boxing, you just had a lot of people that were trying to keep up with the Joneses, with the exclusivity contracts, with the big guarantees, and it created a perfect storm. And it's like, this is not sustainable. This is never going to work. Some of you guys, you got to go. You know, I love what's happening to Devin and Rowley, that they're not fighting. Yeah, don't fight because y'all don't belong on pay per view. Nobody should pay $75 to see y'all. Well, I mean, the last UFC thrown pay-per-view each month, and the fans started to lose interest like boxing. I think UFC leaving is a good, and boxing has to do the same because 400 a year for DAZN. No, yeah, that's nuts. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that pay-per-view is never going to really go away because there will always be super fights. It's just that we're talking about 2 to 3 fights, bro. We're not talking about a fight every month that costs $80. Like, no, dog. At that point, you're just trying to keep up a quota. It's not even organic. You're just trying to keep up a quota by doing a pay-per-view or 2 pay-per-views every month. No, homie. That's like another mouth to feed. Bro, them dudes, nobody give a fuck about them dudes, bro. Pay-per-view will always have a place in the world of combat sports, but it's supposed to be used sparingly. It's just not supposed to be for all the time. And the problem is the industry people, they want it to be all the time. They want someone who will supplement the operational costs, and they want it to be the fans who already have to pay for all these subscriptions. You have to have a subscription to Prime Video. You have to have a subscription to DAZN. You have to have a subscription to Paramount Plus. You're already coming out of pocket. So, you know. But yeah, they may go over there, and at least that's what I was told from a very reliable source. Amazon is not happy with them, and there may be discussions happening behind the scenes for PBC to go to DAZN. What do you think about that, Undefeated?
Wow. Tables turn, bro. Um, I mean, everybody's gone. But if you were to told people 5, 6 years ago, they think you're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it would be a business move. You know, like
Yeah.
you can't gloat like it's 2018. You know what I mean? Because
Oh yeah.
there's just not a lot of those guys left that said all the stupid shit. And you know, the ones that remain, esas son gente que lo que ellos dicen no cuenta, esa gente no cuentan para nada, man. Like y'all said that the zone was gonna go under. What happened? Y'all said that they're going to go broke, they're going to go under. What happened to the PBC going to Amazon and killing every fucking thing? And for me, it's irritating because literally I said everything you're looking at. I said all this already. I said this years ago. I said more than 2 years ago. That deal at Amazon is not what y'all think it is. You know, it's not. It's just a distribution deal, you know? And here we are. What has it been? 3 years, right? 2.5, 3 years, right? Since they inked that deal? About 3 years, really, because they got it in what, 2024. So
Yeah, that's
about
when they
2 years.
started.
But yeah, about 2 years, let's call it 2 years. And you know, I mean, would it be a bad thing if they went over there? Nah, I mean, what do you think, Virtuoso? PBC on DAZN. What do you think about that?
I don't even know, man, at this point, because like there aren't that many like fighters that to me are a pay per view attraction, which the PBC failed to produce. You know, ever since they left Showtime, even during their Showtime run, their pay per view numbers have always been suspect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's fights to make, you know, but I don't know, man. I really don't, because like, where do they fit in on the programming schedule anyway?
Well, you got to figure that. Okay, so you've got what, 6? Let's only count the major ones. You got
Right.
Matchroom, Queensbury, Matchroom, because they actually have a lot more promoters than just them doing shows on the zone. So you got Matchroom, Queensbury. You got Top Rank, Golden Boy, and then potentially PBC. And the
Hmm.
thing is that the American promoters or the guys that do shows in America, you could work a situation to where Matchroom does a show, one show in America we're talking about.
Right.
They could do a show in America one week, then Top Rank does a show, then Golden Boy does a show, then PBC does a show, because there are 4 weeks in a month. So it would be enough that you could literally fill the entire schedule to where there's always a fight on. There is always a fight.
Did you bring up Golden Boy?
Yeah.
Well then they should just go back to where they started. Golden Boy, just remerge.
I mean, honestly, that consolidation does seem
Because
the
because you know they both like ever since the split they've shown nothing but like the same booking philosophy as far as making fights, which is just you know keeping these fighters away from serious ones, you know, just to keep their status as some you know unbeatable fighter or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like if Golden Boy, it would make more sense if somebody could absorb that stable and then use those fighters like that. But you know that's not going to happen. They're going to want to retain their independence, and I don't see I don't see a lot of value in absorbing that stable because what are you absorbing? Brandon Figueroa, Gary Russell. Listen, you don't
Yeah,
need to bring over the whole PBC to
just
use
Samson.
not just to use those fighters. Like you don't have to actually give the PBC a deal to use
No,
their fighters.
you can
You
only give
know?
them money when there's like a cross promotional you know event.
Yeah, but that's all they're good for anyway. Because what are
Yeah,
you gonna do? Abel Ramos fights, Gabriel Maestre fights,
yeah.
Angel Fierro fights. Like what the fuck? Elijah
Fundora.
Garcia
We got Vito
for the
Milnicki.
no, he
Fundora.
went to Probox. He went to
Oh yeah, right.
Probox.
But the door's always open for them because you know they're cool. You know,
You're
Samson and Dad.
undefeated. You're really talking. What we're really talking about in terms of what can be used. You're talking about maybe 5 to 6 fighters. 5 to 6. You're talking about Brandon, Gary, Sebastian, Carlos,
Rolly.
Benavidez,
Rolly.
Rolo.
And don't count out old ass Pacquiao.
Yeah, but Pacquiao's on Netflix now, so it's like I mean, you know, like he's not really PBC. You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
really. Not really.
You can they can dust off Lara.
Yeah, because
Laura.
PBC has nothing to do with the Mayweather Pacquiao rematch. No way. They don't have nothing. They have no involvement in that show, and the lead promoter is actually Pacquiao. He's the lead.
Yeah, him and now split. You know,
right? So he's you wouldn't even count Manny. Gervonta if he beats the case, but I don't think he's going to. But if he beats the case, shout out to El Cagón. DAZN should do Friday and Saturday cards. That's one way. That's a good way to really, because you know it was all on the premise that you're going to do shows on Saturday specifically. But if you're doing shows on Friday, that does open more doors. Like, yeah, you could do a PBC show on a Friday. Why not? What's stopping you? Or on a Sunday. On a Sunday to fuck with Zuffa. You could do that. Like, yeah, like remember, y'all the streaming platform. You're not set up like a traditional TV channel. You can do what you want, you know, because you're your own network or whatever. So yeah, you could do a fight on a Friday, do a fight on a Sunday. Why the fuck not? You know, it's just that I still, even with that, like I would have said it's good news that they're gonna go over there. But in reality, I just don't see why you would give them a deal for the little bit that they have. Like, yeah, they got a lot of guys you could use, but you don't need to give them a deal to use those guys. Not really. Those are the ones in need. They need dates. So if you got them, like, yeah, we'll work with you, but we ain't gonna, you know, it is what it
not
is.
commit to them.
You know, they could do what
Friday
they do,
would be
man.
optimal for them.
Yeah, right. It doesn't get in the way of the big shows, the good ones.
No, Friday night is wide open.
Like a lot of us, you know, from work, shit going on
Friday night.
You know,
That's
like,
Ignacio, bro.
dun, 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 dun,
That's Ignacio. He comes on with this. This shit happens every time.
The Shockmaster.
But yeah, like
oh,
you know,
and
you could do that. You could go ahead, Undefeated.
don't forget, Caleb is still quote unquote a PBC fighter. I mean, he's flirting with Zuffa, but he ain't done shit.
Yeah, but when you think about assets, you don't think about Caleb. That's a fighter that's on the back nine. You know que ya tú hiciste lo que tú ibas a hacer, tú lo hiciste. You did it already. You're not gonna go to 75 and do anything but get beat up, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna stay at 68. You still get beat up. So he's not an asset. You could use him for stuff like, I would say he's more of an asset to Zuffa, which is why I would recommend he go over there. Because ya en normal boxing, tú estás acabado, manín, tú estás explotado. Normal boxing, ese tipo te explotado. What are you going to use him for? Punching bag from a Billy or punching bag from Munguia? Punching bag for Shiraz?
Has he basically become the equivalent of what a jobber is in professional wrestling at this point?
I mean, you kind of got to say that if you know, realistically, and I do this exercise periodically each month, give me a guy that you think Caleb can beat today. One of the top 10 guys that you think Caleb can beat him.
Wow.
I wouldn't say a top 10 guy, but he could probably beat a
top 10's not happening no more, man.
I would say probably a top 20 or top 30 guy he could probably beat.
Divine. Wait, let me go to Divine. If they made Plant versus Berlanga, could you confidently pick Caleb to win that fight?
No.
No.
Oh, not after that Trevor McCovey performance. Hell no. Like Berlanga trash. Well, all it takes is one punch and that's it. I think Caleb's gonna be out for the count.
I think that Caleb, before I pass it to round one, I think that what happened to Regis happened to Caleb. You see? He can make the weight. He can make the weight. Pero ¿cuántos años él no tiene esa división? Like, yo, that dude been there forever, bro. And you say, well, okay, go to 75. He can't go to 75. They'll fucking kill him, bro. You see that? No, you could go up there and your body wants you to go up there, but they're going to beat the fucking shit out of you if you get up there. So it's like, yeah, you're fucked. You're just
Yeah.
fucked. Te explotado.
He's an
Explotado.
Iman Katayev, matchup away from being out of there.
Could you imagine if
As far
Katayev
as
fought him?
Edgar Berlanga, Jules, you're talking about him going up to 175. He only has two choices if he wants to fight under the Zuffa banner, which is 175, right, or 160. So
Él
if he
dijo,
choose,
¿tú no viste lo que él dijo? Di que yo le dije a Dana que yo quiero ser campeón en el 168. I don't even. Oh, okay.
what does that mean?
How the fuck y'all gonna work that out? Y'all don't got no super middleweight division. Y después yo
Oh my
pensé,
God.
let me tell you, this is what I came up with.
Yep.
They're not gonna have a super middleweight division. They're not. But you know what they can do? They can pour some money into a plant fight. Yeah, into a plant. Nobody look, Matchroom is not gonna break the piggy bank for that punk ass fight. They're not. Nobody
Right.
is. Nobody is. But the reason it's an asset to Zuffa is imagine if they did that fight, not as a pay-per-view, as one of their regular fights, but they put some money on it. We would watch it. We would all watch on Paramount. Like, yeah, I would watch that. Not pay-per-view,
Okay.
but I would watch it on Paramount. And I think that's what they're gonna do. I think
Jules.
that's what good.
Shout out
Real
country.
Real quick about 175. I'm just kind of looking at a few different names. I'm just curious to see what you think as far as guys that you think he might be able to beat. You don't think he could beat Jesse Hart?
No, I think Jesse's way too big. Have you seen the size of Jesse, bro? That dude is mad big, bro. And who did he just fight, Ignacio? Didn't he fight Khalil Cole?
Khalil Cole.
Terrell Cole.
Y no fue fácil. It wasn't easy. Like, nah, Khalil had to work for that shit, bro. Imagínate Caleb with those little ass shoulders, bro. No, he doesn't beat Jesse. I'm gonna say he doesn't beat Jesse Hart. Not at this
Jules
point.
Resendiz made him look bad.
Does he beat Benavidez, his old opponent, Ronald Gavril?
Anybody who can apply. All right, I'll put it another way. Anybody que tiene pegada, even a little bit, especially because they're 75 pounders. Anybody que tiene una pegada. The thing is, Resendiz is not a great, amazing fighter. Like, nah, that's the dude that got beat by Elijah Garcia. Elijah, who been getting beat by everybody. Haven't y'all been noticing? Everybody beats Elijah Garcia. Tyrone Davis beat Elijah Garcia, right?
Wasn't he supposed to be a PBC prospect?
You lost to that guy. You lost.
Yeah, that makes it look bad.
True, but then at the same time, Jules, you also
but
got
Dubois lost to fucking Juggernaut. And look, he became world champion.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that you believe that Caleb can turn it around and give his
No,
career.
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that
became
far.
world champion? How did Dubois became world champion, man?
Right? He got that. Yo, Usyk.
He defended it against AJ. Come on, we gonna ignore that?
No,
Are we gonna ignore that?
How did he get the belt?
I know.
There you go,
Buddy.
I know. So
okay, he proved this weight in gold by beating AJ. But like, yo, he got the belt through email, man. He didn't beat Usyk.
But he obviously he got serenaded when he beat AJ.
Espera, eso no es la cosa. Es que Daniel, por todos los defectos que él tiene, él es joven. He's young.
Yes.
Caleb is old, bro. Like he's old.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
I really think.
In that regard,
my man.
Jules, he's not ancient. He's younger than Canelo.
Espera, ese tipo te
Canelo got way more miles.
No. Ese tipo te explotado because you've been making this weight too long, bro. And just because you can make it, Reed just kept making 140, but it wasn't good for him.
No, but what I mean is you don't think going up in weight is actually going to benefit him at this point? You think he's just a dried out raisin that has nothing left?
No, because Ignacio doesn't, because he doesn't want to fucking believe me Okay, Ignacio, you tell me who at
Look,
light
motherfucker,
heavyweight.
I didn't say I didn't believe you. I'm asking you if you think he's just a dried out raisin.
You don't want to believe. You don't want to take it from
Oh,
me.
shit.
So okay, I'm LeVar Burton. This is the Reading Rainbow. Don't take it from me. Okay, Ignacio, who at light heavyweight is this guy beating? Who?
Oh,
You don't think he
man.
can beat Craig Richards?
Oh,
I mean, hey,
no,
he's a
no.
top.
Jules.
He's a top 15 guy
Jules,
according
he's
to
the top
BoxRec.
15
Jules.
guy, Jules.
Are we
Yo,
talking
Craig
about the same guy with Berlanga, right?
he talking about Spider Richards, and here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what about Craig Spider Richards. Yeah, he sucks. I ain't gonna play with you about it.
Yeah.
Stop. You gotta stop yelling. Your mic is really loud.
I'm sorry.
Craig is a big guy though. He probably ain't got to hit Caleb but once, and that's dead ass. Like, yeah, he probably. And the other thing is this: if the most that you could do for me is beat Craig Richards, retire.
Come on,
The fuck you
Jules.
gonna? What are you gonna
Come
do
on,
after that?
Jules.
What are you gonna? You gonna go fight Kalashnik? You end up like Vosdik? You wanna get knocked out? That's what's gonna happen. He don't beat
Not to
nobody,
mention-
bro.
Yo,
Not to
Jules,
mention
yo,
his
Jules,
gas
I
tank
think
issue.
you're being a little like real like on Caleb. Like, I think that from what I've studied on Caleb, he's the type of fighter that left his career in sparring matches. He's well known in sparring matches and coming up in that Floyd Mayweather like hard knocks type shit. He really made his name in that. As far as Caleb Plant being done as a fighter, Jules, I'm not ready to check out on him. Maybe his next performance. Yeah, I see how I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Does he beat the Cuban Iglesia? Does he beat the
Okay.
Cuban?
No.
Tú, lo que a ti te gusta es gastar tiempo. Te lo voy a decir. You wouldn't pick him to beat the Cuban. You wouldn't pick him. Espera. You wouldn't pick him to beat Mabili, and you wouldn't pick him to beat Shiraz. You wouldn't. So if he can't do that, what is he doing?
A gatekeeper.
Well, at this point, we're talking about if he goes to Zuffa to 75, right? We're not talking about him still sticking around at 168.
Pero yo no dije, yo lo dije. Go to Zuffa. ¿Por qué? Why go to Zuffa? Porque casi no hay nadie allá. You'll look like you fucking doing okay. Yeah, go over there, bro. You'll look. The talent pool, well, they don't have a super middleweight division. So what are they going to match you against? Middleweights? Middleweights. What? Edgar Berlanga? I mean, I don't really think, and I don't even like Edgar, but yeah, I don't think you beat Edgar at this point. I don't think you beat Edgar at this point. I think he wins a fucked up, stink ass, bus seat ass fight. I think Edgar wins a stinker. The thing about Caleb is people respect his character. They know he's not a bitch, so they respect him. But realistically, he don't win a belt from nobody anywhere in between 68 to 75. Nobody. He can't beat nobody. Nobody that needs to be beaten. If I can't even trust you to beat Edgar, yeah, bro, you know.
No,
Open up a
you
lemonade
had his
stand.
gas tank. You had his gas tank issues on top of it. Yeah, forget about it, man.
I think and country. I think the gas tank issue is the smoking gun. Why are you gassing out in fights that you're winning? What's going on? You've been at 68 too long. He never been nowhere else. He's been at 68 forever, bro. Other guys, like if you look at Shakur at 2'6", he wasn't there long. If you look at Crawford at 35, he wasn't there long. And you see that consistently. Like, yeah, guys, if after a short while, they get out of there. This guy's been at 68, and I don't think your body can handle keep making 68. Like, how old is he? Isn't he in his mid-30s?
He's 33 right now, Jules.
Yeah, but Jules, when you consider that being a natural 168 pounder, that's the definition of a guy that's actually fighting in his weight division. When you see that longevity,
he has longevity.
Well, look,
Well, it's a Jules. I'll say this. Let me put an example to you. the same way that you're clowning him for not having moved up is the same argument that people made against Triple G staying at middleweight for fucking ever.
Do you know why it's not the same argument? Because Triple G only lost to Canelo.
But he stayed at middleweight forever. A lot of people were like, "Well, why doesn't he move up?"
You're going around the argument. The argument is that what I led with. This guy don't beat nobody. He don't beat nobody at 68. He don't beat Mabili. He don't beat Munguia. He don't beat Melakuziev. I don't even think he beats Berlanga. I don't think he beats Iglesias. You lost to Resendiz already. You lost to him already. Imagine if Sajo got his hands on you. Remember Sajo in the Pacheco fight?
Yep.
Who does this guy beat? And I'm like, yo, I guess the only thing left for you to do, like I said, is be a punching bag. Yeah, that's you don't beat none of the, and that's 68. Go to 75. The little Imam Katayev, he'll destroy you. Yeah, he'll destroy you. Morel will destroy you.
So, just a quick question about if he moves up to 75 and doesn't go to Zuffa, Jules. According to BoxRec, Willie Hutchinson is in the top 10. You don't think Caleb could beat him?
Wait. If somebody somewhere on this planet decided to make Hutchinson versus Plant, they should be shot. Why the fuck would you make that fight? Well, why the fuck would you make that fight, bro? That's two guys. They're gonna stay away from each other. You know that. That's all they're gonna do is stay away from each other. They're gonna look at each other and feint and foot feint.
So it's gonna be the feint fest,
right? And you know what's gonna happen in round 6? Caleb's gonna get tired. He's gonna start sucking wind. He's gonna get tired from all the fainting. He's gonna get fucking tired, bro.
From all the fainting.
All the fainting, right? I'm just saying that, and I said that about him. He doesn't beat anybody. He doesn't beat anybody at this point. I'm not saying it to be fucked up. I'm being serious. That no, he doesn't beat anybody at this point.
Well, Mabili would be realistic. I mean, you know.
Yeah, Mabili and Sajo. Forget it. If you couldn't handle Resendiz, you definitely won't handle them. What's the kid? Najee Lopez. Where does he fight? No, he fights at
75.
Well, he doesn't beat him either. Nacio, he does.
But I put Willie Hutchinson out there being a guy that I don't think is fucking that far above Caleb Plant. You know, like you asked if there was a viable person that could be beat.
So you're saying that Caleb? Hold on. So you're saying that Caleb should keep going because in a vacuum he could beat Willie Hutchinson?
I mean, I'm just throwing him out there as a possible
win.
Yeah.
Right.
Or let me put it this way, Jules. Are you really convinced that Joshua Buatsi is that much better than Caleb Plant at this point?
No. Okay. I'll give you this. I'll give you this.
Okay.
I'll give you this. No. I'll give you this. The way I think that fight happens, right? I think that fight would be a mirror of the Hutchinson fight because Buatsi fought Hutchinson. He fought him, and Hutchinson made him look bad, but he still lost. So what I see in a Buatsi versus Plant fight, Plant will look good for the first few rounds. He'll do his thing, and people will respect him because that's his shit, that he does well enough to get respect. And then you know what happens? Buatsi gets in with a hot one, and he knocks him out. That's what I see happening.
I can see that.
At this point, why don't you just have him fight Boo Boo Andrade, man?
That's another one.
Fuck, that's our loser.
What did you think about that,
Jules?
Jules?
Another one. What, bro? Yo, this is like watching horse sex. Who the fuck wants to watch this? Andre versus Plant. That's what we gonna watch today.
Yo, country. Yo, he's crazy.
Bro. Yeah, I know, man.
God damn it, country. Why did you have to talk about bestiality?
Hey, yo. And now your mom, dude.
PBC and Golden Boy cards on Fridays, Matchroom on Saturdays. Yeah, I mean, unless it's a major card, because the beauty of the Matchroom shit is, you know, they do UK shows. So you could always use their shows as a lead-in. If you got a big show you're gonna do, you could use their shows as a lead-in. It wouldn't be, like I said, it wouldn't be bad if PBC went over there. I just don't see the value in their stable. The only
Okay.
value that I see is okay, you could do the Benavidez fights now, but what are we really talking about? What are we talking about? Noel Mikhalian? If he beats this guy, if he beats Zerto, okay, now what? Noel Mikhalian?
Yeah,
It's not
all
gonna,
of a sudden we're getting fucking Zerto. I mean, I'm sorry, Benavidez versus fucking what's that dude's name? Vidal Riley.
tiene, y la otra vaina es que tiene que ser su tipo because CBS went to Zmufa. Jai is at Zmufa. Ryan Rozicki is at Zmufa. So, ¿con quién tú vas a pelear? You gonna Vidal Ridley? What, Gallegos? Like, who are you gonna fight, bro? Like,
You know, that's the question I've been asking about Hell Richardson. Like, ¿quién diablo va a pelear en Zumba?
Hey, yo, country.
Zumba.
Yeah, what?
Zumba.
Hey, yo, country, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, yo, country, you ever see my Zuffa belt?
No.
You got a Zmufa?
Yeah,
Let me see the
see, I
Zmufa.
got all the belts, right? You see,
me
I got
see
all
them.
the belts, right?
Did you
So I
bought a
had to go
Zmufa?
out-
You got a Zmufa?
Yeah, I had to go out and get one, dog.
Let
You
me
know,
see,
you
let me
know how
ver,
we
let me
do.
Oh,
Bam!
shit.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, it's sponsored by Campbell Soup. It's sponsored by Campbell. You got to fight tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? Bumblebee
Yo,
tuna.
that's
That's
classic.
a real hubcap right there.
Yo,
That's a
you
real
man.
hubcap. All right?
funny.
Listen.
Oh, shit.
Listen, if you want to represent, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, I was just wondering, where should I put it? You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
Look,
Like I was
Put
just
it next to the
asking,
trash
country.
can.
I wanted to know your advice, country. You know what I'm saying?
The
You know what I
fucking belt is
mean?
gorgeous,
You know what I
bro.
mean?
Fucking
Campbell
belt is
soup,
gorgeous,
baby.
Other
Tomato
side of the
cans.
Yo, you know
Tomato
what?
cans.
Espera, déjame decirte algo. It took my brain because their belt is so ass. It took my
Wow.
brain 5 seconds to realize that that's not the Zmufa belt.
Yo, Johnny. Hey, yo.
Espera,
I'm sorry. Jules. I made that, Jules.
Yeah, I
Wow.
can
See?
tell that shit was funny
You,
as
no,
fuck.
but do you
Yo,
see?
country, that's for you, baby. Country, that's for you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You see that it's not that far off.
Off.
Like, it's not that far
Yo,
off.
did I do
bro.
a good
Like,
job? Did I do
Yo,
a good
listen.
job, gentlemen?
Told
Yes,
you,
you
it took me
did.
about
man.
Yeah.
it took me about
Hilarious.
I love
seconds. Took me about 5 seconds to realize that that's not the Zmufa belt. That's not the Zumba.
Hey,
So-
Jules, I'm gonna start saying every time there's a title fight for fucking Zumba, I'm gonna say sponsored by Campbell's and Starkist.
That'd be the funny shit if that turned out to be their real sponsors, bro.
This might
Starkist
brought
tuna,
to you
bro.
by
Yo, yo.
Campbell's Dubai, you know?
Oh my God. That's
But
really
you know,
great.
but I'll say that's why I said that for Caleb Plant at this point, the best move is to eject yourself from ordinary boxing. Nothing good is waiting for you. You can still use what name value remains to negotiate a multi-fight deal at Zuffa
Yes.
that caps off. It caps off with a big Edgar Bumlanga fight. Yeah, like get 3 fights out of that,
Absolutely.
then go get Jordan pregnant again. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
Yeah, right off into the sunset, man.
exactly.
I mean, Plant. I don't think Plant spent all the Canelo money. He doesn't strike me as being that dumb.
Yo, but
Yeah,
Jules,
he-
that's the
he
best
does
thing.
buy like classic. Wait. He does buy like classic cars and shit, like them them cars and shit.
man.
He-
Lowrider
he
cars
does-
and shit,
And them
yeah.
shits ain't cheap, bro. Them shits ain't cheap neither. So.
No.
But it's not a Lamborghini though either, Jules. He ain't spending 250 racks on
Yeah, but
a
it's
fucking.
It's not a Toyota Corolla either, bro.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
true.
saying,
So
like,
he's
Yeah.
spending
it's a
around
collector's
70
item,
to
bro.
80,000. 80,000. Let's say that.
On
Let's
a
say
vintage
this.
car with hydraulics.
Let's say exactly. Let's say this. How long ago was the Canelo fight? 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Está bien. Yeah, I heard it in y'all
Yeah.
voices. I heard it in y'all voices. Yeah, he spent that money. By now.
Yeah,
by
that
now.
money's gone.
Yeah,
That money's
he
gone.
spent that
Facts.
money. He spent that
Facts.
money. That's
Hey.
2021, bro. We in 2026.
Hey,
So,
by the way,
Facts.
hey, Jules, I know
Right.
you probably already heard about it, but the rest of you
Yeah,
guys know
Jules.
that Jadeja Green is still in the hospital with a brain bleed.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God! Shouts out to her. My
her
condolences.
career, I would say that I would say country that and once
It's
again
over.
I'm not saying this. It's over. It's
Yeah.
over. How many times have you heard of a fighter? The only one I
Zero.
could think of. No. There's one. Benau had a brain bleed after Este tipo lo noqueó, Angelo Leo. He did have a brain bleed and he kept fighting after that. But that's not normal though. You see what I'm like? Yeah,
No.
that's actually
Yeah, he's
not
one of the few
normal.
guys. He's one of the few guys that actually kept fighting. He took a long time off after that knockout, but yeah,
That
he
was
came
serious.
back and I think he's supposed to have another fight coming up pretty soon too.
Yeah, but that's not wise, man. That's serious risk. When you get a
For
brain
her,
bleed, I mean, you're
I'll,
talking
I'll
hemorrhagic
I'll
stroke
just
territory.
exactly. Like I really think at this point, she's gonna wrap it up. Like, yeah, she's gonna call it a career. Two reasons for it. The brain bleed is one, but you're sticking around to fight who? Fuck, there's
Exactly.
nobody in that division. Like who
No.
you sticking around to fight? You know, you could train bitches, open up a gym, right? You could do other shit. You could do that, but there was never much incentive in your weight class anyway. The Shields fight, well, that's out the window. You just got knocked out by
Yeah, the
Daniels.
Clarissa Shields fight. Yeah.
That's out the window. Like you can't do that now. So yeah, you got to wrap it up. You got to call it a career.
Yeah,
Now, I'm
it's tragic that she got a brain bleed, though, man. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
pretty bad.
apologize for that fucking super chat last Saturday, man. I fucked
Bro,
up, bro.
listen, bro. Somebody said Lonnie Daniels looked like real talk, bro. That shit had me
Wow.
nuts, bro.
Oh, that's
Wow.
For those that don't know,
Yo,
this is
no,
after Lonnie.
that's fucked up.
I
That's
thought you were
fucked
gonna
up.
put the other one up, Jules, where he looks
That's
like Michael
crazy,
Jackson.
Jules.
Wait,
Yo,
wait,
Jules,
wait,
don't
wait.
do that. Oh, Jules.
the double cucumber one.
Listen, bro.
Jules. Oh no.
Yeah, no, but there is a resemblance now that when they mentioned it, there is a resemblance. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. Country, take it away.
Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll take it away.
Hey, yo, Country, what you think about the Super Belt, Country?
Oh, that was
Yep.
hilarious. You did a great job of making that, man.
Hey, yo,
That-
man, thanks, man, Country,
Yeah,
man.
that's a perfect representation of what you got to do to win that belt. You got to fight tomato cans, bro. That's all they
Absolutely, and
signed
I
for
thought
now.
the first fight should be hosted in a parking lot of a fucking of a what the fuck? Why is it eluding me?
Dollar Tree.
Like no, like a shopping mart, shopping plaza parking
Oh.
lot.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
Bay
saying?
Plaza. They'll fight in the parking lot of Bay Plaza.
Yeah,
But,
and
yo,
hosted by Campbell's.
bro.
That's so wild. That'd be funny as fuck if they saw that and got all mad about it and shit, man.
No. You know what bothered me? What motivated me to make this belt was
What?
Dana White's little short that Zuffa is not going to acknowledge the alphabet belts. Like if there's somebody to not acknowledge our belts, hold up, homeboy, we have been here first. When I hear that and I hear Dana White say that, all I hear is Muhammad Ali's belt ain't shit. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And like respectfully, listen, I'm not discrediting Zuffa. I will watch their fights. I want to see what their product is. But I'm more reserved on the fact that you're going to have to build your way. There's been other players like the IBO in front of you. You know, for you to come out in day one and say your belt is that of a world title, I found that offensive. You know, for all the men and women that have fought for our world title fights and for the legacy that is boxing, I found that offensive. And you know, I have jokes, but I will cover the Zuffa fights. I want to see what their product brings. But other than that, I accept competition, but I believe in boxing and what we have.
Right.
I mean, that's very idealistic. But I think with Dana White is just not deal with the sanctioning bodies who are being a bunch of corrupt pieces of shit.
Yeah,
With
we
the
need help.
with taxing the fighters, leapfrogging contenders that are number one for guys that are have bigger names. All the fuckery, that they've been doing, man. It kind of ruins the legacy of those belts. And that's been something, on the memory of Muhammad Ali. It's a corruption, especially the WBC, because remember they were the first ones to strip Muhammad Ali for refusing to be drafted into the army to serve in Vietnam. They were the first ones, and eventually they kind of had to. I'm pretty sure they reconcile later on in the future, but they pretty much put themselves out there saying that, yo, we'll strip you if you don't fight for this country, which was at the time was an unjust war. And this guy Suleiman, he was glazing the fucking Ukrainians. He was on their side up until Usyk won it, and then he had that fucking like bad look on his face, like, yo, I can't believe I have to crown him champion because I wanted Fury to win. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Now, what you say about the only thing is this. I agree with you with the corruption in boxing. We need help. When Zuffa came around, I thought for a second maybe they might be the savior of boxing. But
No.
life has taught me to be more reserved in the fact that everything's always good in the beginning, then they will reveal their true nature. So I always said that I would step back. Now, as far as what you're saying, as like some of these corruption figures in boxing, yes, I can agree with that. Boxing does need help. But I'm not also on the line to jump off and just say the next shiny thing is the answer. You're going to have to prove that to me as a boxing fan. Because I
Well,
believe all of us have felt the corruption in boxing.
yeah,
And
but
we're tired of it. We're
what have I
tired
been
of it.
saying in the past? And I'm just saying that's a rhetorical question. Is that the fighters make the belts? In order for the Sufa belt to pop
Yes.
off, it matters who the fighter is, who that fighter is that's holding it, right?
Absolutely.
Especially one of prestige, one who knows how to fucking fight, and ones that have a positive reaction by the fans, you
Yep.
know.
Hmm.
But
Yes,
but when
absolutely.
they give it out, but here's the thing, round one, when they
Yep.
just give it away like that, that cheapens the quality of it. Like what they
Yes.
did with what they did
It
with
watered
Jairo
downs
Bataya
it.
did not serve its purpose. It made it even worse.
Well, you have to understand what happened in that Jai Opataya situation was much deeper than
Yeah.
boxing. What they had to do, Sufa, was get their belt in the ring with a real IBF world title. On
Hmm.
that night, they would have gave life to the Sufa belt. The IBF understood the history that it has created. You cannot allow the Sufa or the Russian or the Japanese champion of the world's title to be in the same ring with your belt. That gives life to that belt. It would be like they skipped the line over the IBO, which the IBO, the European title, has been making their way. Just like once upon a time, the WBO. Sufa tried to come in on day one and say that their belt was worldwide recognition status. That's what they tried to do with the IBF. As long as they got it in the ring with each other and the IBF recognized that and pulled out. And they said, as long as we don't compete with you, as long as you see, once upon a time, the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF didn't recognize the WBO as a world title. If
Yeah,
you
the
fought
thing
for
is
their
though,
belt,
with the WBO, the reason that shit eventually got recognized though is because Frank Warren fucking started like buddying up with them, and his fighters won that world title. So eventually they had almost no choice after seeing a bunch of
well,
his guys win it. That kind of
yes.
gave it a whole lot of recognition.
Yes, sir. And the fact that Oscar De La Hoya stood his ground when he was the WBO champion, coming into the fight with B Hop, right, to unify all 4 belts. On that night, that's when the WBO was officially, I believe, by most boxing, gods that say that the 4 belt era came to life. Because Oscar De La Hoya star status with the WBO held enough weight. And
Let
they,
me make
they
a long story
recognized it
short.
finally.
Let me make a long story short. The only reason the WBO got recognition is because fighters who generate money started holding it. That's the long
Yes,
story.
sir.
And that's what determines whether or not there's an avenue for Zuffa to legitimize itself. Not with us, no con nosotros. And I don't know that it ever will be legitimate because the IBO's been around since 1988. And people don't
Yes.
even look at that as a legitimate belt.
And nobody gives a fuck about that bill.
Marvis
Nobody-
Hagler had it.
A lot of well-known fighters held it. Y con todo eso, they still don't recognize it as a real belt.
Yeah, it's a buy
But
one get
for-
one free belt.
No,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not.
It's a BOGO sale belt. But the way for Zuffa, and it would go completely against their original mission statement, but the way for Zuffa to smooth things over, because you can't have
Okay.
it both ways. You can't say that we're not going to recognize the sanctioning bodies and then come out with a belt of your own, because your belt has no lineage, and the boxing fans are never going to be receptive to it for that reason. So the only way you could smooth things over is to get buddy with the sanctioning bodies, and that's what they want. They want you to kiss the rings, essentially. That's what they want, because you're entering into their space. Do I think Zuffa is going to do that? No, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't.
Right.
I don't think they're going to do that. But that is your avenue to gain some inroads for this belt, because right now that belt doesn't mean anything, bro. Like, it doesn't mean, and it's not going
No.
to. A year from now, 2 years, it's not
No,
going to
it's
mean
not.
anything, bro. It's not going to mean
Thank
shit. If the IBO has been around since 1988 and they still treat it like a fucking training bra, right? How many years of the Zuffa belt is it going to take before they recognize that shit?
Exactly, Jules.
Dana
Thank
White's
you, Jules.
Cold dead body will be in the fucking ground
You're
before boxing
motherfucking right.
fans accept
Thank
the
you,
Zuffa
Jules.
belt.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, Jules, the thing is, the only way they're ever going to get that fucking belt, any kind of recognition to where people legitimize it, is they would have to develop their own guys who become stars that the public would
Yes.
recognize.
No estrella, manín, porque estrella, Ryan Garcia no es una estrella. The only way, and this is a Hail Mary fucking Goku fucking I won the lottery fucking nip slip at the Super Bowl scenario, bro. If a Zuffa champion beat a recognized champion,
Yes.
that's the only way.
Yes.
That is the only, like, a fighter that's, and it can't be tampoco, it can't be a guy that developed under a different banner, because the first thing they're going to say is, oh, well, you didn't build that fighter. So-and-so built that fighter, right?
Pero Jules, tú no ves que es la moda que tiene Dana White. Él lo puso eso contra the UFC, contra the WEC. Remember in Bellators, he put their fighters against them. It was the same system.
Not really.
The
What
thing
it
is-
was a merger. They didn't even recognize
Well,
the other
But
belts
he's
that
going to
that
do
they merged with.
Zuffa against the IBF or the WBC or the WBO. You understand what Jules is saying?
I get it.
No. I don't think this is going to happen, and I don't think Dana is smart enough or capable enough
All right.
for him to do it. And boxing. The thing is, anybody that tries to control boxing ends up failing. If you try to control boxing is a storm, and you got to go with the flow. That's what the WBC does. Oh, they like stupid social media dorks. They like morons like Rolly. Let's get him a belt, right? Like, ante, it was different before.
You're damn right.
You got to go with the flow. Like, so they go with the flow. If you look at American boxing right now, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Yeah.
Rolly, Devin. What the fuck is going
Suleiman ranked Jake
It's what
Paul.
we got.
Eso es lo que yo iba a decir. Suleiman was ready to give Jake Paul a belt. You can't control boxing. All you can do is understand it. Dana, he can't compete. He can only control. And yeah, you could control the UFC, MMA, because it's still a niche market. Even now, after all these years, it's still a niche market compared to boxing. Boxing is still bigger. That's why it's in all these different places. And that's why you can't control it. For you to produce a star, don't you think that if it were just about we're going to make him a star, we're going to manufacture it, and we're going to make him a star, if it were up to the promoters, everybody would have like legitimate stars. They would all have their own Oscar De La Hoya. They would all have their own Floyd Mayweather. They would all have their own Canelo Alvarez. The reason they don't is because you can't control boxing. The boxing gods decide who's going to be a star. Literally, yeah, they're the ones who decide. It's not me. It's not you. It's not the promoters. Something about a fighter just ends up fucking working. Manny Pacquiao, a little big head guy. You would not have thought this little big head guy is going to end up being one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing. This little big head guy. Yeah, that's how it happened. When Canelo Alvarez loses to Floyd Mayweather, nobody would have saw that fight on that night and said, yo, you know that this guy's going to be the face of boxing? Yes, he's going to be the heir apparent to the throne. He will go on to become the face of boxing. He will go on to make history. He will recover. Nobody would have, not based on that fight. When Klitschko gets annihilated by Corey fucking Saunders, he's going to reign for 9 years after this.
No.
He's going to reign for 9 years, bro.
No.
He's going to be the man but you never would have thought that on the night, because people don't really decide who the guy is. It's a combination almost of his ability, what he can do, and the people and the sanctioning bodies. Whereas Dana can't operate under circumstances that he can't control. Like, he can't operate. He's not built for boxing. Like, and I don't hate him. I don't want Zuffa to fail. I'm okay with Zuffa, but I'm just saying I see how you like to do things, and you need a certain level of control in order to be operational. Boxing as an industry is not going to give you that. They don't give it to Eddie. They don't give it to Bob. They don't give it to anybody. Boxing is a storm, and all you could do is bring an umbrella. That's all you could do. Like, yeah, boxing is wild like that. You can't control it. You know, fucking guy, you know it. Yo, bro, I'm fucking 43, bro. I never heard of no fucking bantamweight, super bantamweight being one of the top 5 earning boxers in the world. Never. Never. A guy at 118 and 122. Never, bro.
Let that sink in.
Boxing decides this is gonna be the guy. Boxing itself decides, bro. So, and it is what it is. You know, so you can't control boxing, and it would take so many Hail Mary scenarios that now I'm looking at Zuffa and I'm like, I just don't know what this is going to be. I'm not rooting for them to fail. I like the idea of there being something different and something new. I like that idea. But when I look at them, I'm just like, I don't know how this is supposed to work. How is this supposed to work?
What Dana White is a controlled environment, you know, where he's the creative genius behind these fucking stars, but you know, he hasn't really built one. He's not in the business of like building personalities because he puts the brand over the fighter. You know, Pacquiao as a name by himself is the business. That solitary figure, he moves the needle for the sport. But if you're gonna like impose a control over a fighter's like personality, their image and likeness, yeah, they're not gonna really, you know, gravitate towards that thing. They're gonna feel like he's manufactured. Right? Yeah, especially when you're trying to do a biosphere like business model with Zuffa.
Yeah, and you know, there's some fights over there that are now possible in the cruiserweight division that are absolutely great fights. Like Ryan Rozicki versus Chris Billum Smith. That would be an amazing fight, right? That would be an amazing fight to watch. Rozicki versus Opataya, same thing. That you can make fights, which I always gave them that look. You can make fights that are compelling and fun to watch. That you can do. You can succeed with that and produce content that people are willing to consume with that. But to compete with Eddie and Frank, and you gotta do more than that. Those guys got something you don't got. And I told Drew this shit, and he didn't want to listen to me. in the end, it's not about how much money you got. No, it's about know-how. And you don't know how to promote boxing better than them. You just don't. You don't know how to develop a fighter better than them. You don't have the eye for that. All you can do is take the money that they're giving you and try to buy up what somebody else built. But when it's your turn to build something, you're not going to know what to do. They're going to put that pussy on a plate and you're not going to know how to eat it. You lick all the wrong spots. You end up sucking on her inner thigh instead of the clit.
Hey, Jules, that's why in the Ben Whitaker fight, the award that night I gave to Ed Hearns, because I acknowledged the fact that boxing is a business disguised as a sport. It's always the dollar a figure amount first, and then put the fight together second. I felt that Ed Hearn really showed his marketing ability when he took Ben Whitaker's quirky, flat, energetic style and turned it all around. And when Ed Hearn started talking, the fans started cheering. I always felt like Conor Benn's success was built on Ed Hearn as a promoter. We could view Ed Hearn as we want. You know, he is a snake, but when you view him as a snake, remember to represent him as a king cobra, because he is doing his job. He got all these guys like Conor Benn, fucking world, fucking 70,000.
Here's the thing. Eddie Hearn, if he's a snake, he's a garden snake, not a king cobra. He's not a
really.
Why is he?
Why?
Why is he a garden snake? Because he's not trying to fuck you. He's the one promoter who's he's not trying to fuck you. He's not. Oscar's trying to fuck you. Al is fucking you. If you signed with it, he fucked you already. You're about to have his kid. If you're with Al, Frank, he doesn't really fuck his fighters. He's got a great reputation. Frank has a great reputation among his fighters. If he had a bad reputation, they would let you know. The point being, even if you think Eddie is a snake, he's a snake among snakes. You can't be in this industry without being
right. Exactly. Thank you.
You can't.
Thank you.
Can't be in this. Now, do I think Eddie specifically is a snake? No, not really. His reputation's too good among his fighters. And when fighters want money, where do they go?
Okay,
they go to
in
Eddie.
that aspect, yes.
They go to Eddie. When they want a deal, yo, Ed, what's good?
But Jules, you can't deny the world status that he gave Conor Benn without a world title, without a British title, without a boys club title.
Yeah, but how does that make him a snake?
No. I say snake in the sense that I view all of them as snakes. And I wouldn't want to put a gerbil in the tank full of snakes. I would want to send in a snake. And I respect Ed Hearn, and I see his genius behind his promotional skills.
Yeah, that Conor Benn is a definitely can attribute everything, all of it, his success to Eddie Hearn. Absolutely, because we see without Eddie, we see what's going on. Like, your ass is grass, bro. They are gonna fuck you up, bro. And Dana, Herb, Dana's not Eddie, bro. He's not gonna hug you and hold you and dye your hair blonde.
No, he's not.
When you get your ass beat, you know that, right? He's not.
I know. I know that.
Hey, remember the guy with the ankle bracelet on that Belenga knocked out in one round?
Yeah.
And all right, him and Canelo, Eddie got him those fights and helped him make $12 million for them fights, just those two fights alone.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you talk about
he didn't work with Ed for too long.
That if you talk about what Ed's gonna do, Ed is going to put money in your pocket. The only reason that Hitchens is even talked about right now, honestly, is because of Matchroom, is because of Eddie Hearn, because he gave him a chance. Now, Hitchens did what he did, and Keith Connolly did what they did. All well and good. But yeah, the only reason Hitchens was even in a position to get a Zuffa deal was because of Matchroom. That's why I say
Yes,
he's not
sir.
really a snake. He's not really a janky promoter. There's janky promoters like Samson Lukowicz, Oscar De La Hoya. These are bad people. These are bad guys. But Hearn, he's definitely slick. You know, like he is what he needs to be in this industry. Because for example, yeah. Dana took Conor Benn from you, but weren't you trying to take Virgil from Golden Boy? You were. That's what was in the lawsuit. If Virgil would have got free agency, where was he gonna go? Matchroom. Why did Canelo go to you right after he left Golden Boy? Why?
Yeah, but Jules, I think you're putting it on like snakes as levels, because if you ask me, Ed Hearn was a snake during that MJ Naoya Inoue promotion, while trying to say Naoya Inoue was still ducking him. So I felt like he was using his snake tactics to get him the fight in that sense.
That
You
was him
see,
being
so-
a salesman. That was him. Because it's not really
Okay,
snaky to
I can
promote
see
your
that.
fighter. Like he's not, because he's promote. Like he's got to say that shit about MJ. He has to. Like yeah, yo, MJ, they fucking scared. Yo, like nobody believes that shit. But you got to say that. You promote
Thank
that
you.
guy. Shout out to Real Talk. Shout out to Eating It Right. And yeah, but he is what he needs to be. But
Yeah.
just circling back over to Zuffa. The thing is that I'm giving it a good long look to where I'm looking like 2-3 years down the line. And I'm looking at it like, I don't know how this is supposed to work, man. I don't know how this is gonna work. Like, y'all always gonna be the Family Dollar of boxing, bro. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Like y'all always gonna
have
be
you got to the level of Pro Box or Box Lab as a place where we can view boxing, Zuffa? Have you
I
even
would
got
say-
to that status?
I would say exactly, like more and more people, right? Because it's so accessible, are actually starting to like Pro Box. Yeah,
I
I
love
see it. A
I
lot of
love it.
people are starting to like Pro Box, and more importantly, Pro Box. They legitimize themselves when Lamont Roach rebuilds himself after he's jettisoned by Golden Boy. Where did he go? He went to Pro Box.
Pro
And he
Box.
goes to Pro Box and he wins a couple of fights. He gets a shot at a title, wins a title. And what does he do after that? He makes Javante Davis look bad. So it's a good look for Pro Box that where that guy came from. That guy came from Pro Box, right?
I've been talking
Right.
up Probox for a long time. It's finally good to see you guys coming around now, man. Because I told you it was good.
I
No.
think it's
Lester-
Gladiator
Lester-
School.
Lester Martinez is another Pro Box alum that, because he's doing well, because people see he can fight, right? Where does he fight? Pro Box. At the tipo, Iglesias. not
Najee
Pro Box.
Lopez.
Najee Lopez is Pro Box. Najee Lopez. So even you could argue that even though Zuffa has a much bigger budget, they got way more money than Pro Box. But I think more boxing fans respect
Yes.
Pro Box. Just
Because
boxing
they show
fans.
better content and they have better fighters, man. That's
They
why.
have better fights.
I mean, you could
Yeah,
could argue
country.
that. No, because the thing, I give Zuffa grace because it's only been where we at, country? What are we in? April, right? So
Yeah,
they've been
right.
doing shows for 4 months. I give them grace that you didn't do a lot of shows. You don't have a lot of experience. I will say the 5 shows that I've seen, I did like them. The fights were good. Vozdik versus Kalajic was a good fight. Martin versus Ajagba was a good fight.
Ajagba.
What's the other one? Oh, Glanton versus Opataya. That was a good
Opataya.
fight. The Puerto Rican kid that used to be on Top Rank. What's his name? Hammerhands. I don't know his name, but that's his
I
nickname,
forget his
Hammerhands.
name, but yeah, I remember.
He
that.
had a fight. It was
He
either
fought-
Zuffa 1 or Zuffa 2. But it was a
Julian
good fight.
Rodriguez.
He
Julian
fought against
Rodriguez, that kid.
Mayweather.
You know what,
Roger
though?
Mayweather.
Merriweather.
Probox
Cardonis is a pro fighter.
Cardenas, yeah, that's another one. The one who gave Inoue. So I give Zuffa the grace that, look, I don't have an agenda. I don't have an ulterior motive. I'm not rooting for you to fail. More boxing, the better, right? I hope you do well. You haven't been in the game a lot of time, so I don't expect a lot out of you. Not yet. You know, Dana White said, give me a year. I'm going to give you a year, and then I'm going to grade you. I'm going to give you a year because you actually have a lot less to work with than Probox. And Probox be putting together some shits. Yeah,
Well,
they put together
let me tell you, Probox is the modern day equivalent of what Tuesday Night Fight was on USA back in the day. It was immensely popular. They didn't have the most known fighters, but they always had great fights. Everybody loved to tune in, and that's basically what Probox is doing now. They stepped up.
Country, I would say Friday night fights.
Yeah, I would say Friday night fights.
I would say Friday night fights, not Tuesday night fights, country.
Okay, I could agree with that. That's fine. But either way,
but yeah, but
either way,
in terms of legitimacy, and it also helps that Probox inadvertently is almost operating as a feeder system for dark horse fighters because they're producing dark horses. Najee Lopez is a dark horse. Lester Martinez is a dark horse. Ramon Cardenas is a dark horse. It's like, yo, this fucking guy's a problem, bro. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like shit like that.
Yes,
fucking
sir.
guy's a problem, bro.
He had a great showing against Inui, man, big time.
Right.
Oh,
No,
man, he made
did you
himself.
see what he did to a guy after that though? Because he fought
made
on Probox
himself
after
on that fight.
He fought a guy on Probox after that
and knocked him out.
Right. So Probox, at least I think, in the eyes of boxing fans, I do think right now they have more respect than Zuffa. They don't view them as the ops. Probox, like, nah, because look at who the hosts are. You go to Probox, you do have a sense of familiarity because Paulie Malignaggi is there, Chris Algieri is there, and right. Whereas if you go to Zuffa, it's not that people don't know Andre Ward. Obviously, they know him, but they also know he's a company man. Max Kellerman, you are doing too fucking much.
Too much.
You're doing way too much. Like you're gonna make Zuffa more enemies.
That's embarrassing to watch.
You're gonna make them more enemies shilling the way you're shilling than make fans. You know. Whereas, like I said, Probox right now, even they have a leg up on Zuffa, which is crazy because they don't have anywhere near the money you guys have. You know what they do have though? Know-how. They have know-how. You guys are marks in the club, waiting to buy a bottle for any pretty bitch with a butt. That's what you are, Zuffa. That's what. Yeah, you gave Conor Ben 15 mil. The fuck,
right?
The fuck, bro. And how much more you gonna give him?
Right.
You know,
right, Jules. You're right.
They're marks,
man.
bro. The fucking marks, bro.
Tricks.
Y'all gonna buy all the bitches a bottle, bro. That's
all
what y'all
bitches.
gonna do. Y'all gonna all the bitches a bottle,
and we gonna walk off with them at the end. We gonna walk off with them at the end.
That's crazy.
You gonna buy all the bottles.
I thought Dana White said that the fighters in boxing is overpaid. Then turn around and give Conor Ben 15 mil. It's like, yo,
Jesus
dog,
Christ.
You part of the problem, Dana.
I thought Dana White was trying to pull a fast one because he advertised them as fighting on Zuffa, but never actually fighting on under the banner, under the Zuffa attire.
No,
where
but
it's
he is not. Yeah, but he is now though. Like one. Let's be real. Like you got to read in between the lines.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do.
He was always gonna have a multi-fight deal with Zuffa. That was always gonna go down. That was always gonna go down. But he is a Zuffa fighter. Like Conor is a Zuffa fighter. Like straight up, he doesn't have to wear the communist uniform that says Zmuffa on it. He's a Zmuffa guy, bro. Like officially, he's 100% Zmuffa. Go ahead, Herb.
Hey, round one.
Yes, sir.
That belt you made,
yes.
I bet if a fifth grader took that to school as a science project, they'll win. That's for creativity alone.
Yo, for real.
Yeah,
that shit is lit. Like,
Thank you.
No cap, that shit's lit. But yeah, it's just for all this may turn out to be, and it's like there were so many overestimations. Like I saw Lou DiBella on Ariel Helwani show, right? And he was doing the apocalypse thing, doom and gloom, and Zuffa's gonna take over, and they're gonna make you all the. And I said that like that's not gonna happen. None of that is gonna happen. None of that is gonna happen.
Well,
All you could do if you're smart, and once again, I don't know how smart they are. Boxing is a different kind of industry. Other industries have a formula that works. In boxing, there is no formula, bro. Like I don't know how to put, like, there's not really a formula.
Okay.
There's not one thing that always works. For example, yes,
Exactly.
Puerto Ricans are fiercely loyal boxing fans, right?
As
But for
Mexicans.
but for whatever reason, Diamante Verdejo, it didn't work out. Tú ves?
Right.
Danny Garcia, it didn't work out. They didn't know that it didn't work out. Now Xander, it's working. But what I'm saying is, yeah, there's not one thing that always works. Yes, Mexican boxing fans are fiercely loyal, but that doesn't mean that Zurdo Ramirez is a big draw. He's not.
Correct.
Oh, he's not. Like, he's not a big draw.
Correct.
Jules, you know what that's called? That's called discernment. That means that people just don't follow someone out of blind loyalty. They have to see if they're really the goods before they start to become a fan of them. You don't just
Yeah.
fucking follow somebody because you think, oh well, he's Puerto Rican, so I think he's gonna be good. No, you gotta watch him. And then once you watch him long enough, then you decide, okay, is he gonna be the real deal or is he just a guy?
But it's basically accenting. What did I kept telling Drew Ignacio? You think that this is gonna boil down to Mark Shapiro, y TKO, y la vaina, y lo bulla, y la peo, y all that. It's not gonna come down to any of that, because you're still selling the same thing that Eddie Hearn is selling, that Bob Arum is selling, that Frank Warren is selling. And I'm telling you, you don't know how to do that better than they do. No, you don't, bro.
Now,
You can
not
have
when they
all the
have a
money in the
30-year head start.
right? Like you can have all the money in the world. And what did I tell them? What they're doing at Zuffa has already been tried by Ben Shalom. What did Ben Shalom did? He goes to the matchroom fighters. Yo, Lawrence Okoli, come with me. Buatsi, come with me. Natasha Jonas, come with me. Savannah, a bunch of matchroom fighters, right? He got them all to go over there. And in the end, it still didn't work. Why, though? Why didn't it work? If you actually convinced them to go with you, why didn't it work? Because it's going to boil down to know-how, not money. It's going to boil down to know-how. You got to know how to develop a fighter. And it's not an exact science, bro. It's not, bro. Because different fighters got different shit they good at, because they're from different places, because there's different ways. Many things happening all at once that no, there's not one fail-safe thing that, yeah, this always works. No, if it did, everybody would have Floyd Mayweathers.
Yes.
That sell like Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
In other words, that's what I meant, that you can't necessarily make the star, because if everybody could, they would. Don't you think everybody would love to have a guy that sells millions of pay-per-views? Of course they would. And if they could make one, they would. But it just doesn't work like that, bro. Boxing is like a force of nature where you can't control it. You can ride it out, you go with the flow, but you can't control it. Nobody can control it, bro.
And that's why the Jake Pauls of the world succeed.
A ese muchacho, te lo voy a decir. Ese muchacho inteligente, like, he knows how to go with the flow. Like, yeah, I think he understands it better than Dana. Maybe it's because he's younger. Maybe, right? He is a younger guy. But he kind of gets it that, yeah, you got to go with the flow. You got to go with the moment. And you have to I think another thing that Dana's not going to understand this. I don't think Dana understands it. I don't think Shapiro, Nick Khan. There are moments in boxing. If you're a boxing fan, you can feel those moments. Like, I don't feel Baumgartner versus Serrano. I don't feel that. I don't feel Baumgartner versus Taylor. No lo siento. I feel Baumgartner versus Dubois. Like, yeah, if you do that, they're going to show up. If you do that fucking thing, they're going to fucking show up for that fucking thing. I don't know if Xander is going to win round one. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm saying, if he wins, him and Virgil is a motherfucker.
Well, in my opinion on that right there, right? Okay, first of all, we got to give recognition to the young 23-year-old Puerto Rican champion that even Jerron Bruce Ennis acknowledged, we're only here because of you. You could have fought anyone else. You chose to fight me. Okay, so the rumors about Top Rank sacrificing Xander and things like that was laid to rest. So I gotta acknowledge that win, lose, or draw, Xander is definitely stepping up to the plate. We're finally getting a fight where two guys are in their prime.
Let me make a long story short.
Yep.
Xander could lose that fight and he'll be fine.
Yes, sir.
He could lose that fight and he'll be fine. How do I know? How do I know? Canelo was 23 when he lost to Floyd. Look at how he turned out. He's 23 when he lost to Floyd. What's Xander? He's 23. He could lose that fight. He'll be okay.
Thank you, sir.
Because if he loses that fight, if he were to lose that fight, go to middleweight, win a title up there, rebuild, you know, and he has plenty of time to rebuild. So he'll be fine. But it's not really that. It's more like circling back. There are fights that have moments. I don't think Dana knows what those moments are, and I don't think he knows how to create those moments. One of the biggest moments of the last 10 years of boxing, before they actually met up with each other and had a confrontation, the Crawford-Errol Spence conversation was heating up. It was heating up. So that when you finally saw them in the same space, it was like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's a motherfucker, man. It's a fucking motherfucker. And you just can't teach that. That comes from know-how. There are moments in boxing where it's like, yeah, the time is now. The time is now. Dana, you just know how to buy up shit because that's what you did with your UFC. You bought up your competitors and you know, sort of created a monopoly. That at least that's what people tell me. Well, yeah, you could buy up shit, but that doesn't mean you know how to use it. And boxing, one, it's not something you could buy up. Understand something. Y'all are paying Conor, whatever you're paying Conor, and more the Brits are hating him. So what are you actually paying for, bro? A guy the Brits don't like? Looks that way.
Well, I think you're using multiple situations in the sense of Dana White. You got to give Dana White his props for creating UFC and swallowing up all the entities around them.
Wait, go ahead, country. Go ahead, country.
This is a classic example, though, of what you're talking about, how he bought stuff up and he didn't know how to use it. He could literally strategically be using Conor to capitalize off the hatred of the Brits, and he's not doing it because he doesn't know how.
Because he doesn't
he
know
can
how.
Make a bankroll off of it. If he
round one, I was gonna say, the thing is, Dana lucked in to the position that he got because if you think about it, if not for the Yakuza fucking shit up in Pride still would have been a major thorn in the UFC side.
Yes, sir.
That's really the only reason why he lucked out. He lucked out because the Yakuza's involvement just ruined Pride's ability to exist. And once that happened, the people who fucking were the owners of Pride were like, yeah, we got to get out because we can't do shit anymore because these dudes just ruined everything by being involved in the government and everybody else is fucking, you know, keeping tabs on them. So they're like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out. So they sold all of their guys who they had developed in the stars. And the first thing the UFC did was they basically just started marketing them like they were their stars when they weren't. They just lucked out. So in reality, Dana just got very fortunate.
That would be the same way, Ignacio. That would be the same way.
Y'all gotta let me pay the bills. Shout out to Big Dog. Boxing fans be like, I don't like Dana because he's not going to pay the fighters. Also, boxing fans, I don't like Dana because he's paying the fighters too much. It's not that, Big Dog. It's not that. It's more along the lines of he was the one who said, I remember what I said. He's the one who said that he felt fighters in boxing get paid too much and it makes for a business that is not sustainable. He literally said that, right? Verbatim. But you guys are the ones that are also kicking out big cash to who? To Conor Benn. So it's a contradiction of original perspective. That Brody, you the one that said you think the fighters in boxing getting too much money, but you part of that now. Cause who giving Conor Ben all that? Zuffa. It's really Turkey, but it's Turkey through Zuffa. So
Ignacio,
it is what it is.
Ignacio, to your statement about the Yakuza fucking up everything and then Dana White, that would be like me saying that the only reason why the UFC ever kicked off is because Whitey Bulger pushed out Dana White from Boston and made him go to Las Vegas and run into the Fatella brothers, and they created UFC.
No, that's not the same thing, bro, because the reason being is because when Dana White went to the Fertitas to buy the UFC was literally on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yes, it
They
was.
weren't gonna last.
44 million.
And then not only that, it took them years before they finally became
4.5.
what they eventually became, because remember, if it wasn't for that reality show, The Ultimate Fighter,
the
they
Spike
never
TV
become where they are.
deal.
Yeah, they never become what they are.
Let me react to this. This is I love this fucking guy. Nobody said that Xander Zayas was on the level of Canelo or that Boots was on the level of Floyd. What I said was Xander is young enough to rebuild because he's 23. How old was Canelo when he fought Floyd?
23.
23. Either you're fucking retarded, because this guy, I've been reading a lot of shit from this particular guy, Traffic, and I think he's fucking retarded or something. Like, how does that go over? No, what he is he's mad about what I said about David Benavidez. That I'm sorry, but that pay-per-view is not going to sell shit. Y'all trying to convince me that David Benavidez is the face of boxing, and all I know is if you're the face of boxing, all right, your baseline should be what Canelo's baseline was. You're saying Canelo's not the face of boxing anymore. Okay, all I know is when he was the face of boxing, his baseline was somewhere in between 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys with a nobody. That's what he would normally do. With a somebody, he would do more than that. If David is now the face of boxing, then he should do that with Zurdo, because Zurdo's not a nobody. He's not a nobody. He's Zurdo Ramirez. He's a unified champion.
You get me so
if he don't do 500,000, he's not the face of anything. He's the face of potatoes. He's the face. He's the face of potatoes. What is you talking about? And he got. I did a video like a day or so ago where I said that, and I was reading his comments, and he didn't like what I said. Oh, that's not true. If Canelo got out, I didn't say if Canelo got out there right now, he's going to do 500,000. I said the baseline for his pay-per-views was around 400 to 500 when he was the face, right?
But Jules, didn't you say?
You're saying he's not the face anymore. He's not the face anymore. David is the face. Okay, David, get out there and sell 500,000.
Yo, Jules is right, man.
Mr. Potato Head Face.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
You
Jules, but didn't you say that he sold
in order
600,000 against Berlanga?
Jules, I'm with you.
Yeah, but Berlanga's not a somebody per se. The example with Berlanga is here you have a fighter who the majority of the boxing community do not think he's going to win the fight. They don't think he's going to win the fight. So against the guy that nobody thinks is going to win the fight, he sells 600,000. Nobody thinks the guy's going to. That's saying something. Now, what guys like Traffic and all the Benavidez fans are trying to convince me of is that David is the new face. I'm saying, okay, if he's the new face, then you should be able to do 500,000 because this is the best guy you would have ever fought. Zurdo is the best guy you would have ever fought. This is at cruiserweight for 2 titles, right? If David is the face, get out there and sell 500,000. Because Canelo sold 600,000 with Berlanga, and nobody thought Berlanga was going to win that fight.
He's got another comment for you.
Of course he does. The face of boxing. Who reported that he only did 164,000, bro? Where are you getting those numbers from? Go back. Who reported that Canelo only sold 164,000
against who?
William Skull.
I know. I do this for a living, and I pay attention, and I didn't see nobody reporting that number. Who said? Show me where they said he sold 164,000.
Yeah, I'd like to see the source on this.
Against
I'd like to
who
see the
though?
He said against Skull.
No, not even that. That was at 6 in the morning. No, he did better than that.
No,
He
it's
said
not.
Google it.
Yeah. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Because what he got mad at, I made a video about David, about
Okay.
the face of boxing and all this shit, right?
Potato
And he
head
got-
face.
and he got mad because and he said David keeps proving you wrong, and I said, okay, what did David prove me wrong
Where?
about? Yeah, what did he prove? He did everything I said he was gonna do. Literally, like he did everything I said he was gonna do. I said he's not gonna be at light heavyweight very long. He's only gonna be there for a few fights. He's gonna move up. He's gonna fight Zerto. You'll see. He's
And
gonna
he did.
his campaign at light heavyweight will come and go without a B-ball fight, without a better B fight, and he's gonna move up to fight Zerto before you know it. Here we are.
Here
What
we
did he
are.
prove me wrong about? What did he prove me wrong about?
He said
Nobody is mad, Q. No, it was prime time in the state. I'm still waiting to hear what did David do that proved me wrong. So far, he's done everything I said he was gonna do. And
Yeah, it's not like you picked David to lose.
I picked him to beat Yard.
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know what did he prove me wrong about. And I'm telling you, he's gonna prove me right again. This guy thinks he's gonna go back to light heavyweight. I mean,
He's
common sense,
trolling.
like, yo, no, he really believes he's gonna go back.
He
to light
really
heavyweight.
believes it, huh?
I think this guy is Mirage in disguise.
I think that, no, I don't think that's Mirage. I think that's the potato face. The potato face kid. What's his Javi? That he looks like a potato.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He looks like a fucking potato, bro. Like he literally looks like a
Hey, yo,
potato.
Jules, tranquilo.
No, he look. Si tú le miras la cara, ese
Mira,
muchacho,
pero,
he looks like a fucking
Jules,
potato,
tranquilo.
bro.
Pero ¿cómo le vas a decir que tiene cara de papa?
Y a diablo, cara de papa.
Yo, he looks like a fucking potato, bro. I don't make the rules, bro.
Oh, dude, I
I
seen him on IBFP and he was arguing hella stupid shit, man. And he actually showed his face, man. That kid Javi is something else, man.
He's a
Hey,
potato,
hey,
bro.
hey.
Bro, search Google, type in. Okay, bro.
Está pasado, Jules.
I'm gonna look it up. Why not? Canelo Skull, and I'm gonna see what comes up. I don't know. I didn't see any credible news source reporting numbers for that fight, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like the only fight Canelo's done in the last decade that no one actually put the fucking numbers up.
I don't see I don't see any numbers, bro. I'll be honest. Let me see. It's Eli to real is. No, because it's Eli to real, bro. That's.
Come
Yo,
on,
bro,
Jules.
Come on,
fucking-
wow.
I'm dead ass. That number 164. It comes from Eli to real.
No,
That's
I
where
know,
it came
but
from.
I said this dude had no credible source. I knew he was gonna pull some bullshit.
Shout out to Mr. Calderon. Remember David beat the amazing Plant after Canelo, right? Right. And there's
He had to add
Javi's
the word
mad-
amazing.
the incredible, the incomparable,
The incredible.
unstoppable. right.
The incredible
and
edible potato.
I know that it's Javi. I know that that's Javi's alt account because the guy's only commenting about Benavidez stuff, and that's what Javi's been doing for 3 days. Like, on Twitter, he only wants to come. He only wants to come. Do you understand that dude has been following me for like the better portion of 10 years?
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting you.
I remember when he first came to the channel.
I remember him from Facebook, bro. That fucking dude, bro. That dude was like, it's a fly in the ointment.
He was happy Hav, then he was happier Hav. You know,
Right, yo. we ain't happy about them Benavidez videos, bro. I tell you that. You ain't happy about them shits.
Oh.
And I know it's him because he's only commenting on the Benavidez stuff. And I've been saying this round one. I don't know if you caught it, that I don't think it's possible for David to become the face of boxing at this point because the foundation has not been laid. He's been on pay-per-view 4 times, and none of those pay-per-views did good numbers. None of them. Not Plant, not Andre, not Morrell, not even Yard that was paid for by Turkey LL Sheik. But no, Brody, you got yet to crack 300,000 buys with a fucking fight, bro. And you 30. And you at cruiserweight now. Americans don't watch cruiserweights. They don't. They don't watch
So what
cruiserweight.
fight can catapult him there for you?
Only one. Only one. Only one, bro. It's not for me. It's in general. There's only one fight that he can have that is casual friendly, and it's I don't even know if I could say that. The Bivol fight. The only one that's realistic, a little bit. Bivol recently said that he may move up to cruiserweight. He might go to cruiserweight. Okay, if he goes to cruiserweight, there's a big fight for you, David. That's a big fight. But
so
I don't.
in your scenario,
Espera. Este lío. Bivol is not that known among casuals. Like he's a guy that the hardcores know. Guys like us.
right?
Yeah, we know Bivol. We know he's a great fighter and all the stuff. Do you beat him and then you become the face of boxing?
That's what I was gonna ask you.
No.
Now I was gonna say to you right now, right? I was gonna interrupt you and say to you, do you think that he would get the credibility because he beat Canelo Alvarez by David the Monster Benavidez beating Bivol? Would it give him the status that? And I already heard one guy saying no.
¿Tú sabes por qué?
Why?
Bivol beat the guy that David is about to fight. No es verdad? He beat that guy. He took him to school. He beat Zerto easy.
Yeah.
And wait. And he beat Canelo. Pero dímelo tú. Is he the face of boxing? Bivol is the face of. And he beat them guys.
Well, I think they're blackballing him. I think that, you know.
They're not black. No, because he had the better beat fight. He's making money. What I'm saying is, it goes back to what I said about Dana. Boxing is not an exact science. It's not. Bivol beat Canelo.
Round one. The reason Bivol is not the reason Bivol is not a household name or a big name is because he doesn't have a legitimate fan base that supports him. He just doesn't.
Yeah, but why is he out of the pound for pound ranking when he
not
beat
out of the pound for
Canelo?
No, he beat
pound for
Petreviev. How is he out of pound for pound?
And
What the hell?
ESPN, if you were to look up ESPN, he's Demetrius Bivol's not on there.
The only reason I could think of that ESPN might have ejected him, because I was thinking about it myself. It's not because he can't fight. It's because he's been inactive. He hasn't fought in a while. That Better Be fight was way back there last year. Inactivity is the only reason, not because he can't fight. But that's not what it is. And that's not what we're talking about. Dimitri Bivol beat Canelo Alvarez, took him to school. That was what, 3-4 years ago? Did he become the face of boxing after that?
No.
He won, but he didn't become the face of boxing.
Nor did Terrence Crawford after he beat Canelo Alvarez.
Well, he can't if he fucking retires. He retired after that.
Yeah,
Maybe
he fought him at 38, bro. It would have been different if Crawford would have been 28.
The point that I'm making is
Floyd beat him at 36.
The point that I'm making is boxing is not Highlander. It's not like you cut the guy's head off and then you absorb all his powers. You absorb all his marquee value. It's not like that.
I don't know why.
Jeff
It
Horn.
should be.
Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. But did he become Manny Pacquiao? No.
Well, none of us felt like he won the fight, though, Jules.
That's not the point. The point is that boxing is not an exact science. Look, Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones Jr., correct? He knocked him out.
Better.
But
yes.
But who's remembered as the all-time great?
Roy Jones Jr. You're damn right.
Boxing. So look, it's cool. Bivol beat Canelo, and he beat the guy that David is about to fight. But beating them did not make him the face of boxing. The point.
Why?
David, you can go in there and beat Zerto. You're not going to be the face of boxing. If Bivol wasn't the face when he did it, why would you be the face when you do it?
All right.
It doesn't work like that.
I don't
What
know
I thi-
why, man. I mean, it's got to be that some of these
Listen.
fighters have the it factor.
Listen, I went to NASA. You know, I talked to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I talked to Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
right.
Wait. And I figured out certain things about what are the common denominators in the fighters that ended up being the faces of boxing. I did a whole clinical
right.
study. One of the common denominators for the face of boxing, irrespective of the era, is they had a lot of opponent options. A lot. Whether it was Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez, go back, Sugar Ray Leonard. They had a lot of options. Now, what does that mean? That they had a whole heap of big fights that they ended up having. Yeah, Sugar had the fight with Benitez and Hearn, and the 2 fights with Duran. It was 2. How many fights did he have with Hearn? Tommy Hearns? About 2, 3?
Yeah.
like two-
But Jules, you can't say that when Tank Davis fucking ducked everybody and he had a lot of options, but he never stepped in the ring with the opponents.
Well,
He had the opponents.
Have you been drinking, bro?
Yes.
I can tell. What I'm saying is the guys who ended up being the face of boxing, a part of the reason
Which
they
is
became
Tank.
Tank is the face of boxing.
Well, at one time, yes.
No.
What time was that?
No.
Yo, come on, guys. You can't say 3 or 4 years ago Tank wasn't the face.
He wasn't.
What did he do 3-4 years ago?
Come on, Tank was like the main attract. Come on, Jules. Like, wasn't fighting the guys we wanted, but you gotta admit he was hot. He was hot.
What? You know what? It's time to go to sleep, fellas. It's time to go to sleep.
Yo, but wait a minute. Yo, Jules, you're not saying that Tank wasn't?
Hey guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Same bat channel.
Hey, yo, country, you're the shit. And Nacio,